Hello, Simsters. Can you hear me? Let me know when you can hear me. It's Pegasus night. Hi. I have a funny story about the real Pegasus, which will take place for the first time on January 28th. I am booked to go and for work. Turns out the night before the Pegasus is week 6 Friday, or week 6 day 5, as we call it now, which means that the Desert World Cup card and the Louisville Derby card races are supposed to be called that night. So we're going to be doing a live broadcast from Florida, apparently, for the Pegasus, which is tonight in the sim. It's like Twilight Zone-y or something. When I figured that out, I was like, oh man, why didn't I have a long break this year? That would have adjusted the schedule perfectly for me. But no, instead we're going to have live Florida broadcasting. So tonight is the Pegasus. This is the second annual Pegasus Races event. We may or may not ever have it again because after extremely large, excellent fields last year, we barely have any horses this year. We have pretty much 5 minutes between almost all of the races because we only have 3, 4, 5 horses in all the races, including one match race. Although it is quite the matchup between those two nice horses. So interesting card tonight. There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 races tonight. We start off with the 3 synthetic races, the Pegasus Summit Synthetic Mile and Route. To talk about them tonight, our MC is Rebecca Rose Hepburn, and she is very excited to preview these races quickly with you.
Hi guys. Yep, super excited to do this in this very exciting 4-horse field, even though you guys could be doing better and maybe put some more horses in here. Anyways, our first entry is Private Thoughts, owned by Lori Hamill and bred by the Steward. Private Thoughts comes into this race off a win in the end of the year stakes, week 16. She is... Blah, blah. Sorry. Private Thoughts has won 8 out of 14 starts and is, I think, a little bit of an underdog in this race, but her last start was really nice, and hopefully she runs really well for you, Lori. Next up, we have Emmy, bred by the Steward and owned by Madeline Gilbert. I believe that this filly is coming back to Emily at the end of her career, I think. So if so, you'll get a chance to breed to something that is very nice. Emmy is 11 for 12 lifetime and enters this race off of an upset in the Stewards Cup Synthetic Sprint, where she lost by a length and a half to Hooray. But before that, as I said before, undefeated and a winner in the Stewards Cup Synthetic Filly Dash year 44. So she is a Stewards Cup winner who has never finished worse than second. And definitely, I think, is one of the co-favorites here with the horse that she lost to, who is Hooray. Hooray is owned by Lee Cara, another horse bred by the Steward. Steward has bred 3 out of 4 entries here. So come on, guys, where are the homebreds? As stated before, Hooray won the Stewards Cup Synthetic Sprint last out with a 94 speed figure, going to the front and wiring the field. Hooray is a winner of 10 out of 12 lifetime. And I think it'll be very interesting to see him and Emmy go. They're both front runners, so maybe they'll hook up from the start and just keep on going. And our last entry in this very short field is Giving It a Go, owned by Josh Bordeaux and bred by Pete Vella. This is a horse that looks pretty outclassed, if I'm being honest. Last out, he was 6th in an allowance, week 15. But the one thing you can say is when you're running in a 4-horse field is that you're going to get some money out of it. So, Josh at least is going to get some of his money back. Anyways, that is our exciting 4-horse field. Gonna see, Emily should take it back now. Okay. Okay, so apparently I have to just make up something for another 90 seconds. Um, let's see. I went to Santa Anita opening day. That was Monday, the day after Christmas. And I did get to see the steward there, so that was fun. And found out that if you walk Santa Anita by the tunnel going out to the racing stands, sometimes the outriders will bring their ponies over so that you can pet them. And apparently, like, you can be having a full-on conversation with me, and if I see in the distance that there's a pony nose I can pet, I'm just gonna like take off on you, like in the middle of your sentence, because petting noses is very important. And I did that to Emily like 5 times, like that, like something something ridiculous. And I was getting the stink eye at the end of it. But petting noses is very, very important. Something that I believe in highly. And look, it's post time. Yay! There you go.
I do recall that being a real life thing that happened. I would be like in the middle of a sentence and then off she would go, off to look at horses. Okay, fine. I mean, we were at a racetrack, so I guess that's what you do there. So, yes, first up we have the 6.5 furlong all weather Pegasus Summit. I think these races are in the pick six, so let me just make sure that I need to close that. One moment, please. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's too risky. So, closing all the betting. And the betting pool for this race itself, oh, it would help if I had it open, yeah? It would. It is non-existent because there's only 4 horses. I'll be all right. Okay. They're off. Straight to the lead. That is Hooray. Emmy broke a step slowly, but now she's rushed up. Giving It a Go was slow too, and then Private Thoughts, the other filly, and those 4 are rushed along, and the duel is, as we expected, Hooray and Emmy kicking clear. Giving It a Go third, beaten 2 lengths so far, and then Private Thoughts has dropped back last. They go into the turn, and now Hooray is sneaking away from Emmy. Hooray has the lead by a length. Emmy a length and a half to Giving It a Go. Private Thoughts would have about 5 lengths to make up if she wants to win this one because they're at the top of the stretch, and Hooray is kicking away from Emmy. Emmy is trying to fight on, then Giving It a Go, and Private Thoughts still no rally. But Hooray is just going to be uncatchable in the Pegasus Summit. Went to the lead and never looked back. Hooray is going to win by about 2 lengths. Emmy will be second, then Private Thoughts, and Giving It a Go. The official winner is Hooray! He's a 4-year-old bay colt by Private Zone out of Cheer for Loot by Midnight Loot. He was bred by the steward and is owned by Lee Cara. This is his 11th win in 13 starts. Next up, we have the Pegasus Synthetic Mile with a whopping field of 3, I do believe, but a very, very nice field in here. 2 millionaires and a horse that will be a millionaire no matter where she finishes in this race. So to talk about them, once again, here is Rebecca Rose.
Congrats, Lee. Very nice win. So next up, we have an exciting 3-horse field. By the way, any of you run weather milers, I'm looking to get some of those. So if you have something nice, you can sell or lease it to me. Just going to throw that out there. Anyways, our first horse is Powered On, owned and bred by Regina Moore. Powered On is a 6-year-old gelding, which I highly approve of. He enters this race off of a second place finish in the Gelding World Cup Stakes last out, which, by the way, you should also be involved in the Gelding World Cup. Powered Powered On was the winner of this race last year, so he's looking to defend his title, and he could do that pretty easily. He's a nice horse, and it's exciting because he'll be around for, I guess, at least another 3 years, because he's a gelding, so why would you retire him? Maybe even longer now that we have more time with our geldings. Cholev. Next up, we have Snowfall, owned and bred by Nina Olson. Snowfall was a winner of the Stewards Cup Synthetic Mile, I guess 2 years ago, year 44. He tried to defend his title in the Stewards Cup last out, but was caught by the cops at the very end of this race. He's looking to improve on his position in this race last year when he Powered On beat him just by a nose. I think Nina was getting very tired of her horses finishing second in big races. So good luck, Nina, and I hope he runs really well for you. And our third horse is Gold from the Sky. This is a 4-year-old filly owned by Anne Conrant and bred by the Steward. Sold for $1.3 million. Gold from the Sky is 9 for 10 lifetime. Last time out, she won the Stewards Cup Synthetic Distaff. And the year before that, she won the Stewards Cup Synthetic Juvenile Filly. So it's not very often that you get horses that can win more than one Stewards Cup. So this is a very classy filly. Her only loss came in a surprise upset last year, week 11, in the Plastic Ladies Mile, but she's obviously rebounded very well since then. She is, it's always a little iffy sometimes when you've got a filly taking on the boys, but based on her back class, there's absolutely no reason why she shouldn't be able to do this. And I think that it is post time. Take it, Em.
Oh, it helps if you unmute yourself. That's a helper. Yeah, because I'm here. Anyway, yes, so 3 horses going a mile on the synthetic surface. Will it be defending champion Powered On or one of his 2 rivals here today? They are off, and it was a perfect start. Snowfall is the one who goes out to the lead. No one wants to challenge Snowfall early, making that run to the first turn, so it's going to be Snowfall unchallenged. Next up comes Gold from the Sky, the filly. She's in a good tracking position, followed by Powered On, defending champion, happily settled back in third. So they make that turn up the backstretch, and Snowfall is on the loose rein and leads by almost 4 lengths. Gold from the Sky tracking second, a length and a half back to Powered On, so he'd have to come from 5 or 6 off of it to win this one. The pace is decent, but Snowfall has it all his own way, leading by 4 or 5 now. Gold from the Sky is still tracking and hasn't been asked yet. Powered On still back third. No change in order as they come around the far turn. It is still Snowfall, but that leads down to 2.5 now as Gold from the Sky starting to come on. Powered On is asked and doesn't quite have his normal kick, so we're down to 2. It's Snowfall and Gold from the Sky, and those 2 turn into the stretch. Snowfall tries to quicken once again, but Gold from the Sky has just run right past him, and Gold from the Sky opening up now. Gold from the Sky, a super filly. She's going to win by at least 3 lengths. Snowfall back second, and then Powered On was third. The official winner was Gold from the Sky. She's a 4-year-old gray filly by Snowflake out of Extracting Gold by Extraction. She was bred by the Steward and is owned by Anne Conrad. This is her 10th win in 11 starts. And next up, we have the Pegasus Route with a whopping 2 horses in it.
That's a very exciting 2-horse field. It was congrats, and that is a very fancy filly that you have there. And as a shameless plug, as a younger brother to that horse is Hail the Greatest, who's sired by Louis the King. So Emily sent a very nice all-weather a miler mare to Louis the King. You should consider doing it too. We is next up is the Pegasus route, match race between Cat Food and Sadness and I Am That Miracle. Cat Food and Sadness is your reigning all-weather horse of the year. Last year, he won the Stewards Cup Synthetic Classic, and is just altogether a very nice horse. Winner of 8 out of 10 starts, 1.7 million in earnings. Still going at 4. I don't know if he's going to retire this year or not, but if he is, definitely save him a mare or two. And his rival today is I Am That Miracle, owned and bred by Arthur Cutler. I Am That Miracle is a 5-year-old mare. Last out was second behind Cat Food and Sadness in the Stewards Cup race, so they're having a rematch today. I Am That Miracle is a winner of 7 of 17 lifetime starts. And yep, it's really hard when it's have 2 horse field, but to take up time. But I think we're actually at post time.
A match race? I'm not going to call it the whole match race, guys. It's just too long. But I do think that both of these are very worthy horses, and this was a race that had no entries until almost the very last day before nominations closed. So kudos to Todd and to Arthur for ponying up the money, knowing that one of them was going to take quite the loss. But I appreciate that they made this race go. And I Am That Miracle for Arthur Cutler is out of Known for Miracles, who he raced and was a 2-time Semi Award winner. She's also got a 4-year-old that lives in my barn and will have first yearling for sale this year. #plug. It is post time. So there's no running lines or anything because it's a match race, right? So they both broke probably pretty well. And Cat Food and Sadness went to the lead and had the lead going around the first turn, under the wire the first time by about 1.25 lengths. Maintained that advantage with I Am That Miracle, never got too far back, was never more than 1.5 lengths back. So the pace was honest, kept the pressure on each other, and coming around that far turn, Cat Food and Sadness started to kick away and was leading by 1.5 lengths at the top of the stretch and then just exploded. And I Am That Miracle was valiant in defeat, but Cat Food and Sadness did end up winning by 5 very impressive lengths and earned himself $700,000. So the official winner of the Pegasus route is Cat Food and Sadness, who is now 9 for 11 lifetime and a 2.4 million earner, a homebred for Todd Lucas. And yeah, that's the last of the Pegasus synthetic races. Next up, we have the first of the non-synthetic races, which is the Dash, going 6 furlongs on the turf course, and post time is in 3 minutes, and there's 5 whole horses in here. So Rose, take it away.
Okay, first up we have Danny Pink, owned by Regina Moore, bred by the Stewards, sold for $4.2 million. Winner of 9 of 14. Last out, Regina decided that she wasn't going to go for the Stewards Cup, went for the Runaway Stakes instead, was third. That's sad. But the race before that won the Waterford Cup with an 88 speed figure, and hey, that's a Doctor Who name, and everybody loves that. So, next up is When I See That Smile, owned by Laura Smith, again bred by the Stewards, sold for $1.9 million. Last out was disappointing 4th in the Stewards Cup filly and mare turf sprint. Before that, she won 5 straight races, so she can easily rebound and come back with a huge run today. Next up is Sonic, owned by Susie Rydell, another horse bred by the steward, sold for $3.5 million. Last two starts has been racing behind Composer, but his last win came week 9, day 5 last year of the Qatar Stakes. So you have to wonder a little bit about his confidence, but he's had the speed figures and he looks pretty nice. So see how he does. Next up, we have Perfect Landing, the only homebred in this race, owned and bred by Izzy Rafferty. Last out, she was a very close second in the Stewards Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, only lost by a neck. And before that, she'd been running quite the win streak. Like 8 or 9 races in a row, win streak. So you have to think that she's going to rebound quite nicely off of that loss and come back fighting for the win. And it's cool to see a mare that's this old that is still competing. This is going to be her 24th start. So that's cool. And our last horse in this 5-horse field is 31 Reasons, owned by Nikki Everdeen and bred, of course, by the steward. 31 Reasons last out won the Guitar Trophy week 16, and before that took the Asian Cup week 14. So it's a pretty demanding schedule, going 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 2 into the Pegasus, but maybe that's what he likes. He just likes going that fast, or that often. Wow, hello. Okay, anyway, 7:05 post time.
So they're going 6 furlongs on the grass here in the $2 million Pegasus Dash. Betting pool closed at $11,200. Don't forget that if there's 5 horses in the race, you can place your wagers. 3 millionaires, will we make it a 4th or 4th and a 5th? They're off. 31 Reasons stumbled at the start, but the rest were away well. When I See That Smile hustled up, and then Sonic, 31 Reasons, after the bad break, Perfect Landing, and Danny Pink will be the early trailer, but they're quite close together. Now it is Sonic who takes over from When I See That Smile, and those two are kicking away from the field. Sonic and When I See That Smile, 31 Reasons back third, Perfect Landing will come from fourth, and then Danny Pink is the trailer and would have to make up 6 lengths. They come to the top of the stretch with Sonic leading by a length and a half. Here comes Perfect Landing, though, rallying past When I See That Smile, and even Danny Pink getting involved. Sonic is trying his heart out to keep Perfect Landing at bay. It is Sonic. Perfect Landing's got him, though, and now Perfect Landing sticks her neck in front, and Perfect Landing will win over Sonic, and then Danny Pink, When I See That Smile, was fourth. The official winner is 6-year-old Perfect Landing. She's a chestnut mare by Reach for the Moon out of Perfect Rumor by Perfect Night. She's a homebred for Izzy Rafferty, and this is her 18th win in 24 starts. And now she's rich. 1 million plus 1.9 million equals 2.9 million. Next up, we have the Pegasus Sprint, which is only a 3-horse field, but we have 3 minutes to talk about them. And 2 of the horses in here are fillies. It's a very, very fun race.
So congrats, Izzy, on your very nice win. Now moving on to the Pegasus Sprint. First horse is Cognac, or as I like to call him, Cognac, owned and bred by Louise Bayou out of her very... Yeah, it's Cognac. It's like the drink. Oh, that's right. Okay, I guess you're okay. Cognac enters this race off a disappointing 8th place in the Stewards Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Before that, she won the Grade 2 Kentucky Crown Ladies Sprint. Cognac is a pretty fancy mare. I mean, she was second in the 2-year-old Sprint Championships back in the day. And there's no reason that she can't, rebound strongly off of the Stewards Cup and win this race. Next up, we have Benefit, owned and bred by Brianna McKenzie. Brianna is famous for having good dirt sprinters, and this is no exception. Benefit has won 11 out of 13 lifetime, including last out. He won the Stewards Cup sprint by 3 lengths. Very impressive. He's also a winner of the 2-year-old sprint championship the year before that. This is a shut up, cat. This, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. He has a problem. Um, Anyways, good luck, Bree. Although I don't think you'll really need it. And our third horse is Sweet Sensation, owned and bred by Darcy McBride. Oh, that's cool. All the horses in this race are homebreds. That's always fun to see. Where are the steward breds, though? Anyways, last out, Sweet Sensation was third in the Stewards Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Before that, she'd won 2 in a row, including the Grade 1 Canadian Challenge. So she is still a very classy filly, and it'll be very exciting to see how this race unfolds.
I'm feeling a little bit like a meme right now because surely everyone's been making fun of me for the past 3 weeks for calling this horse Cognac because I don't know what cognac is, and that's how you can tell that I am a sheltered child. So, yeah, my bad. I will say cognac from now on, and thank you for no one that corrected me. So we're 1 minute to post for the Pegasus Sprint, and of course Benefit is looking to become the second horse in 2 years to do the magically made up sprinting Grand Slam of the 2-year-old sprint championships, the Stewards Cup Sprint, the Pegasus Sprint, and then the Desert Sprinty thing. Of course, he has to get through this. We never really thought that anyone would be able to do it, and then last year, If Looks Could did it, and then is it possible that a horse will do it the very next year? We will have to find out because it is post time for the sprint. They're off, and it was a perfect start. Sweet Sensation is going to be hustled out, and Sweet Sensation is going to be absolutely gunned ahead of the field. Benefit lets her go, and Cognac is going to take back last alongside Benefit with Sweet Sensation, the surprise leader. So Sweet Sensation, she's just kicking clear from them. She's at least 5 in front of Benefit and Cognac. The pace is quite fast, and they're letting her do what she wants. It's Sweet Sensation leading around the turn by 7 lengths. It's time to get going for Benefit, though. He's coming on now, and Cognac is making her move. Cognac's sticking right to Benefit, and those two are now trying to collar Sweet Sensation into the stretch. Sweet Sensation leads down to 2. Here come the other two, Benefit and Cognac, and they blow right by her. Benefit and Cognac. Cognac won't let him get away. Benefit trying to kick clear, and Cognac is fighting right back. Benefit and Cognac, these two to the wire, but it is now Benefit. He's got his head down, and Benefit will win by a neck. Benefit over Cognac. Sweet Sensation was very game to be third. The official winner is Benefit. He's a 4-year-old chestnut colt by Hope Rings True out of Friend Zone by Le Motif. He's a homebred for Brianna McKenzie, and this is his 12th win in 14 starts. And also, he now has not that much earnings. Almost $4 million in earnings. So next up, we have the Pegasus Turf Mile, and this is the race that I gave a whole 10 minutes to because it's got 8 whole horses in it, and it's 8 minutes to post time, so it's going to work out perfectly. Here is Rebecca Rose Hepburn to talk about her favorite division.
Yep, love this race. Love that it's got 8 horses in it, which might seem small, but it's actually tied for the biggest field on the card. So it's obviously a race that should be run every single year. That's my pitch. Anyways, first up we have In the Crosshairs, owned by Eric Nalbone and bred by the Steward. In the Crosshairs is entering this race off of a loss week 14 to Stand Tall and Speak. So he's had some time to rest, but with the 4-week break, that's a little hard to overcome. But we'll see, and good luck, Eric. Next up, we have Famous Air, owned and bred by Iggy, who I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name because I know I will butcher it and feel really bad. So Famous Air enters this race off a 4th place in the Stewards Cup Turf Mile, but he won his previous 3 starts in a row leading up to that start. He was 2nd in this race last year. Not that I'm still bitter about losing that, but I think he's in perfect position to improve off of his last start and win this race. So good luck, Iggy. Next up, we have Make My Own Path, owned by Sten Reno Hakosen and bred by the Steward. Make My Own Path is entering this race off a win in the Kakapi Guineas, last out by 2 lengths over Overdrive. Make My Own Path. Make My Own Path was a 2-time Grade 1 winner last year, won the Great White Plate and the Hong Kong Champions Mile. So this is a classy horse, and I'm excited to see how he runs. Next up, we have Dandelion, Lower and Haggerty's homebred that has a very interesting pedigree. I'm actually really excited for this horse to retire. I want to send some mares to him and see how they turn out. It was Dandelion is entering off a 3rd place finish in the Stewards Cup Turf Mile, but there's absolutely no shame in that, especially as he was 3 years old at the time. He is the Stewards Cup Juvenile Turf winner for year 44. And he picked up a couple of Grade 1 wins last year on his way to finishing 3rd in the Stewards Cup. I think you're going to see him go right to the lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wired the field. Next up is Theme Park, owned and bred by Ashley Gibson. Theme Park is the big mare in town. She is 12 for 12, undefeated. Last time nosed out front page star to win the Stewards Cup Filly and Mare Turf Mile. And this is your Stewards Cup Juvenile Fillies winner of year 44. You know, I actually kind of feel bad for front page stars sometimes, because imagine what front page stars record would be like if there was no Theme Park. Anyways, Theme Park, I think, could safely call her the favorite, even though I'm sure Ashley wishes to strangle me right now, but I have to say that she is my pick. I think she's really, really classy, and I'm excited to see her run. Next up is Invocation, owned and bred by Allie Hedgestone. Invocation is a classy, multiple Grade 1 winning horse. Last time out, he won the Oklahoma Turf and was basically just a really nice prep for this race. Early last year, he won the French 2,000 guineas and the English 2,000 guineas back-to-back, which is always very cool when a horse can pull that off. I'm excited to see him turning 4 as well. Next up is Seattle Sound, owned by Regina Moore and bred by the Steward. Seattle Sound is exiting the filly version of Invocation's race in the Oklahoma Filly and Mare Turf. Before that, she'd had some run-ins with Theme Park and Wonderful Things, but she did pull off wins in the Beautiful Bessie Stakes and the Wasses Das Stakes last year. I think she is a fancy mare, and maybe Regina should swap with me sometime. And last up, we have In a Crowded Room, who's owned by me and bred by the Steward, and he is kind of a fart face. I don't really expect much out of him in this race. I'm put him in here, and I'm going to keep him in there. He has to run in here as his punishment for starting to suck a little bit towards the end of last year. He is a multiple Grade 1 winner. He won, only one Grade 1. What a fart face. He won the South African 2,000 guineas last year. I could call him a fart face. I want to call him a fart face. He did win his race last out, which was a Dinky sponsored Florida bred race that I did just to boost his confidence. But win is a win. So he's going to go to the front and get absolutely dusted by Dandelion. But I figured that I paid the money to put him in there, so he's going to run, by gosh. And that is your 8-horse field for the for the turf mile.
I actually thought it was really interesting. Some people are very upset about how their horses are vetting tired, but I think it's interesting to see what trainers those are and what their patterns are and what races those horses are coming out of. For instance, in this Pegasus Turf Mile, with a bunch of horses that are coming out of the Stewards Cup Turf Mile races for both boys and girls, not a single one of these horses is tired at all. They're all perfect and good to go, and yet every single horse in the filly and mare turf, which all exited that really tough filly and mare turf race, all of them are tired. So yeah, competition matters, and how hard your horse ran, it matters. So I just thought that was interesting and thought you guys should know that. Secondly, I have to say that I'm personally pulling for Dandelion in here because Dandelion, I have it under some pretty good authority that this is likely to be Lauren Haggerty's last night of racing in the sim. She is planning on leaving, and she has been here since like 2001 or something like that. She's actually not even the only major player who's planning on making this their final year. So there will be people that we miss, and she's going to be the first of those people to leave. Just life happens, I guess. So good luck to Dandelion and the rest of the Pegasus Turf Mile field. They're off. In a crowded room was steadied at the start. Theme Park broke one step inside. But it doesn't make much of a difference. They all are in line now, with Dandelion now being asked to run up and take over the lead. Seattle Sound, the fillies, settles back into second, then in the crosshairs, in a crowded room, Undefeated Theme Park and Invocation, then Famous Air, and Make My Own Path as they go hustling up the backstretch now, and it is Dandelion on a long rein leading by 3. No challengers so far for Dandelion, with Seattle Sound settled back second. In the crosshairs is third, in a crowded room is next, and those two have 3 lengths on Invocation and Theme Park. Theme Park is shuffled back to sixth early in the going, and then Famous Air and Make My Own Path. There's about 10 lengths from first to last, and the first horse is Dandelion, leading by 3 around the far turn. In a crowded room has come up into second. Seattle Sound, here's Theme Park making a move, and Invocation is just flying past horses. Invocation was fifth and is now second. So it is Dandelion, Invocation, Theme Park, then In a Crowded Room, and they're turning into the top of the stretch, and Invocation has taken the lead from Dandelion. Theme Park is asked to pass the both of them, and In a Crowded Room is running the race of his life, then Famous Air from last, and it is Invocation. Theme Park can't get past them. Invocation and Dandelion. Theme Park is game and right there, but Invocation is going to be your winner of the Pegasus Turf Mile. It is Invocation by a length. Dandelion and Theme Park in a photo for second, then In a Crowded Room got fourth. Famous Air was fifth. The official winner is Invocation. He's a 4-year-old chestnut colt, and he's 17 hands. He is large. A homebred for Allie Hedgestone. He's by Brightheart out of Isolation, spelled like ice baby. That's funny. And she's by Dr. Horrible. This is his 8th win in 12 starts, and now he is rich. So next up, we have the Dirt Mile, And this is not a rematch between All of Time and Doctor Who because one of those horses went into the classic. They have 4 horses and 3 minutes to talk about them. So here she is. It's Rebecca Rose.
Congrats, Allie. It's a very nice race. I think it's the first time I've ever been really excited to finish fourth in a race. I was a lot better than I thought I was going to do. Anyways, our first horse is Dubai Raider, owned and bred by Hani Russo, um, out of Dubai Millionaire, who's just producing all the nice thing these days. Last out, Dubai Raider was a very close second in the Stewards Cup Filly and Mare Dirt Mile. Um, Now she's coming on to take on the boys, but I think didn't her older brother win this race, or he was like second in this race last time? Anyways, good luck, honey. Next up is All of Time, who only owns the record at this distance now. But you have to wonder, when you set a world record and come back 2 weeks later, how good are you going to be? Are you going to bounce to the moon? Are you going to be able to replicate it in any way? So we'll have to see. But All of Time is obviously a very classy horse who really likes this distance. So good luck, Danny. Next up, we have Special, is a steward bred owned by Jack Mayer. Last out, Special was 10th in the Filly and Mare Dirt Mile, but before that, she'd won 4 in a row, including the King Kamehameha Jewel and the Seattle Distaff, which are both grade 1s. This is a very nice filly who's 4 now and getting ready to take on the boys, and we'll see how she can do. And our last horse is Consecration, owned and bred by Pai He Sun. Pai has a very nice group of dirt milers every year. This one is just as good as any I've seen her produce. Sort of an awkward thing. Last out was fifth in the Stewards Cup Dirt Mile, beaten by, 15, 16, whatever lengths, and still ran a 100 speed figure. It just goes to show how crazy that race was. So he's obviously coming off of a very strong effort, but, can he rebound in time? We'll see. But good luck to everybody, and I think that it is post time.
Okay, that was a very, very fast 3 minutes. But it is post time for the Dirt Mile. Again, Doctor Who is not in here, but his arch nemesis, All of Time, is, and he is the favorite. Or, would be. There's no betting. I'm just making that up. They're off. And it was a good break for All of Time, who was 1 step slow, but that's okay because he doesn't want the lead anyway. That goes to Special, who will be joined by Consecration and now All of Time. Dubai Raider, there's only a length separating the top 4 as they're running around the first turn. It is Special, leading Consecration All of Time, who is fanned out 3 wide, and then Dubai Raider, who settles back along the rail 4th. Special, taking them up the backstretch, leading by a length. Consecration and All of Time run heads together in second and third. Dubai Raider has dropped out 3 lengths last. 4 lengths covers the field. So no change in order. It is Special, then Consecration and All of Time right together, and Dubai Raider as they reach the half-mile pole, and now here comes Consecration. Consecration makes the first move to reel in Special, and All of Time is right alongside. Going to go wide for a second time, though. Special and Dubai Raider does not answer the call. They're at the top of the stretch, and it is going to be another battle. Consecration and All of Time kicking away from the field. Consecration and All of Time. Dubai Raider up third as Special drops out last. They've got 5 lengths on the rest of the field. Consecration and All of Time. Can All of Time do it again? Consecration, All of Time. It's going to be Consecration gets his head down. Consecration in the Dirt Mile over All of Time. 6 lengths back to Dubai Raider and then Special. The official winner is not All of Time, who I clicked on, is Consecration, who is a 4-year-old bay colt by Justin Act out of Holy Communion by Father Ralph, a homebred for Pei Sun, and the next race is something Rose will tell you all about because Kate is crying.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Wow, hello. Not paying attention. Okay, let's try this again. Next up is the Pegasus Filly and Mare Turf. It is a 4-horse field. This is the first time that this race has ever been run, but it is a very stellar field. And our first filly is one of the best. Her name is Titanic. She's owned and bred by Nina Olson. Titanic is a perfect 10 for 10. Last out, she won the Stewards Cup filly and mare turf by a length and a half. The year before that, she'd won the Stewards Cup bumperette, so 2-time Stewards Cup winner is always very exciting to see. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seems like the turf route fillies are just a lot more exciting than the colts are right now. Very excited to see this horse face Queen of Atlantis again, although I have no idea when that'll happen. Maybe in Dubai? That would be fun. Um, Our next horse is Wild, owned by Steph Lonro and bred by the steward. Last out, Wild was a disappointing 7th in the Stewards Cup filly and mare turf, but there's no reason that she can't rebound strongly from that. Wild is 10 for 15 lifetime, including she won 5 out of 6 last year in Europe. So this is a very classy filly and someone who should definitely not be overlooked. Next up, we have Bolt from the Blue, who is owned and bred by Mary Whalen. Bolt from the Blue last out was 5th in the Stewards Cup filly and mare turf. 2 races before that, she won the Beverly B Stakes with a 91 speed figure by a head over Billy Piper. Bolt from the Blue is she's a multiple Grade 1 winner, and it's hard to stand out in this division right now, but I think she's a very nice filly. And get and next up we have Carissima, owned and bred by Carl Smythe. Last out, she won the German filly champion stakes by a net over Muffet. 2 before that, she won the Prix de Citerinum, and before that, the Grade 1 French Oaks. So this is.
It helps if you set it to headset. It really, really does help. How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Now, now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Now, now? How about now? How about now? That what? Stop that. I clicked on your link. What? Someone just knocked on my door. Who even lives here? That's freaky. I'm freaked out now. That was weird. Okay. Okay. Everyone can hear again, right? Okay. Okay, why can't I hear Rose? Like, that's that's not normal. Let's fix these. Our fast post times are gonna get all mucked up. Okay, well, I can't really hear Rose, but I mean, I like hear you, but just really quiet. Well, you shouldn't hear Rose. Okay, anyway, it's post time like way a long time ago for the Philly Mare Turf thingy, so we're gonna do it really fast because we're gonna put Nina, etc., out of their misery, right? That's the race we're on, right? Right? Rose! Oh my gosh, just talk. Okay, they're off. And Wild was a step slow, but the rest were away well. And Bolt from the Blue bolts to the lead. And Bolt from the Blue is about a length in front as they come down the stretch the first time. And Wild is sitting in second. Titanic is well back in third, about 6 lengths behind the leader right now, and Carissima is last. So it is Bolt from the Blue under the wire the first time, leading by about a length. Wild has 11 lengths on Titanic, who's about a dozen off the leader, and then Carissima is another 2 lengths last. So there's no change in order. It is Bolt from the Blue, Wild, Titanic, and Carissima, four of the best fillies in training. I would like to own them all. As they go running down the backstretch with 5 furlongs left to go. Bolt from the Blue is still leading by a length and a half, kind of unchallenged with Wild in second. But here comes Titanic now closing the gap. She was 11 behind, and now she's only 5 lengths behind as they come around the turn. And Carissima has stuck to her, so Carissima is only 2 lengths last. Bolt from the Blue is still a length in front at the top of the stretch. Wild and Titanic are right together as Titanic tries to keep her undefeated record and reel her in. Carissima still last. It's Bolt from the Blue. Titanic coming at her on the outside. Bolt from the Blue and Titanic. Will she get up? Bolt from the Blue and Titanic. And it is Bolt from the Blue who gets her neck on the line. Titanic is beaten. She finishes second. Wild is third. And then Carissima. The official winner is Bolt from the Blue. She is a 5-year-old gray mare by Two Toned out of Chidori by Black Condor. She's a homebred for Mary Whalen. That is not a name you see too often, and this is her 7th win in 16 starts. Next up, we have the... Shoot, dude, mommy's working. Next up, we have the Pegasus Distaff. Post time was 1 minute ago, so we're going to talk really fast to get through them, and here is Rose.
So we have a 4-horse field of fillies that we all look at, and we're very sad that we don't own them. First up is Breathe In, owned by Art Vandelay, bred by the steward. This is a daughter of chocolate, so that means I wish I could own her, and so do the rest of you. Last out, she was third in the Stewards Cup Distaff, but she is a multiple Grade 1 winner, winning the Wish Upon a Star Stakes and the California Oaks, so it's a very nice filly, and we have to run against her offspring, and that sucks. Next up, we have Eye of the Storm, who is a full sister to Heart of the Storm, which means that obviously she is pretty sweet. Last out, she was second in the Stewards Cup Ladies Route. Before that, she'd won the Heartbreak Hill Stakes and the Atlanta Stakes, another thing where we have to race against her offspring, and it sucks. Next up is Minneapolis. Minneapolis, who did win the Stewards Cup Ladies Route. This is a daughter of Lauren, who is a daughter of Whitney, out of the female family that beats you in everything that you do. Minneapolis is 6 for 10. Has a high lifetime speed figure of 99 and is very scary in this race and everything she does. And last up, we have Paint the Night, owned by Danny Derby and bred by the steward. Second in the Stewards Cup Distaff, last out. Paint the Night won the Long Island Acorn and is pretty scary, and is probably gonna give birth to a Derby winner. So there you go. That's your field.
That was some excellent previewing. And yeah, when you're looking at this 4-horse field, there's probably a future Derby winning dam in this 4-horse field. I mean, statistically, that doesn't really make sense, but it sounds good to me. So, yeah, it's time for the first ever and possibly last ever Pegasus Distaff. And they're off, and Paint the Night stumbled badly at the start. Breathe In broke a step slowly, too. Minneapolis goes out to the lead early, and no one wants to challenge her, so it is going to be Minneapolis uncontested early. Paint the Night is hustled up after the bad break and then Breathe In. Eye of the Storm drops out last, but she's close to the second and third place runners, and Minneapolis is in her own league right now. Minneapolis leading by 5 under the wire the first time. Paint the Night, Breathe In, and Eye of the Storm, they're all alongside each other, watching that well-bred filly go, but they're not worried yet as Minneapolis gets even further away going around that turn to the back stretch. Minneapolis, she leads by about 10 lengths now. Bit of a runaway train is Minneapolis, with Paint the Night still sitting second and Breathe In third, then Eye of the Storm. No more than a length and a half separates those three, but they're a good 11 lengths off of Minneapolis. Minneapolis, no change in order down the backstretch. She leads Paint the Night, then Breathe In and Eye of the Storm. But now the others are tired of her runaway, and so they're starting to reel her in. It is Minneapolis, but she's only leading by 5 around the far turn. Paint the Night is closest. She's second, and Eye of the Storm has passed Breathe In, who drops out last. And they come to the top of the stretch, and Minneapolis, she's got a quarter of a mile left to go, and she's got to hold off the closers because here comes Paint the Night, and Minneapolis only leads by 3. Paint the Night is closest, then Eye of the Storm and Breathe In. Minneapolis, but Paint the Night collars her, and now Paint the Night kicks away, and Paint the Night is going to roll home. Minneapolis set it right up for her. She's going to be second, then Eye of the Storm, but Paint the Night is your winner. The official winner is Paint the Night. She's a 4-year-old black filly by Horcrux out of All That I Am by Awake As I Am. She was bred by the steward and is owned by Danny Derby. Next up is the Pegasus Turf. Right? Yes. The second to last race, and we have a big, beautiful field of 8 in here, so please get your bets in because this is one of those rare races that you can bet on. And to talk about them, here is Rose.
Congrats, Danny, on winning a thing. Let's get into this 8-horse field. First horse is Time Limit, owned by Cleopatra and bred by the steward. Time Limit completed the Melbourne Trophy, Cox Trophy double last year, which I'm sure is a very rare thing. Only, how many horses have done it? I don't know. Also notable, he won 2 Caesar Augustus handicaps, a Caesar Augustus handicap week 5 and a Caesar Augustus Stakes week 8. How come my horse doesn't have 2 races named after him? Huh? Anyways, next up we have Wesley, owned and bred by Susie Rydell. Last out, Wesley won the Grade 1 Hong Kong Turf Cup. Also won the Grade 1 Virginia Turf Cup last year, so pretty nice horse. Next up is the big horse, Coleman Hell. 6.7 million in earnings, easily go past 7 million tonight. Last out, second in the Stewards Cup Turf. Before that, second in the Arc Day Triumph. Last year, he was third in this race. I think it's time for him to stop being a bridesmaid, which is kind of an odd thing to say about a horse that has won the Chicago Million twice. But tonight could be his night, so we're rooting for you. Come on, dude, just do it. Next up, we have Delahousse, bred by Louise Bayou and run by Melissa May right now. That's a pretty sweet deal. Delahousse won the Sydney Trophy last year, along with the Desert Duty Free. So this is a fancy horse, and if you're giving out horses to race, Bay, you should give me one too. Next up is Jump Into the Fog, owned by Eric Nalbone and bred by the steward. Last out, Jump Into the Fog was disappointing 7th in the Stewards Cup Turf, but he won his 3 starts before that were all Grade 1s, Grade 1 London Derby, Grade 1 Irish Derby, and Grade 1 Everest Stakes, so he might have just had a bounce race, and this is going to be the race he's going to come back and win all the things. Next up, we have Take Me Up, owned by Brandon McNulty and bred by the steward. Take Me Up was the winner of this race last year and kind of an upset, and since then he's gone on to win a couple Grade 3 races, and last out was 4th in the Stewards Cup Turf. Be exciting to see if he can repeat his performance last year. Next off is Rostov, owned by Ryan Wright Whitehead. Hello. Um, last out was fifth in the Stewards Cup Turf. Before that was third in the. And it is definitely post time, probably post time, close to post time. I think it should be post time. What, really? Oh, really? I did a beautiful.
Okay, sorry about that. Apparently, we continue to have technical difficulties and don't even know why. So I feel sad because Rose did a really good job talking about that race. So it is time for the $8 million Pegasus Turf, and the betting pool is only $800. So that's pretty pathetic. So yeah, they're going a mile and a quarter. They're off. Everybody broke in a perfect line, and it is Coleman Hell who goes straight out to the front. Wesley is the one who's going to chase him early, and then Delahousse is there too. Take Me Up is in mid-pack, and then Time Limit, Rostov there, a length back to Jump Into the Fog, and then Chance Encounter. So they're tightly grouped early with Coleman Hell leading down the stretch. Wesley is in second alongside with Delahousse third. Take Me Up is sitting fourth by himself midfield, then Time Limit and Rostov together. And at the back of the pack, it's Jump Into the Fog and Chance Encounter. So they run around the turn to the backstretch, and it is Coleman Hell leading by a length and a quarter. Wesley and Delahousse second and third alongside each other, 3 lengths to Take Me Up. Time Limit sits fifth with Rostov there, then Chance Encounter, and Jump Into the Fog has dropped at last. No change in order yet. It's Coleman Hell, Wesley, and Delahousse. Then Take Me Up, who gets asked to go, and Take Me Up does not respond. Time Limit is moving up between horses. Rostov and Chance Encounter, not today for Jump Into the Fog. Coleman Hell, he's got 3 furlongs left to go, and he's still in front, but Wesley is pressing him. Delahousse, and here comes Time Limit. He's up into third. Now he's second. Rostov and Chance Encounter, they're into the stretch, and Coleman Hell leads and is battle is going to be with Time Limit, who's coming on. Rostov is up into third, and then Wesley still there. Coleman Hell and Time Limit. Rostov, it could be a big upsetter. It's Coleman Hell, Time Limit, and Rostov, 3 across the track. And Coleman Hell digs down, and Coleman Hell gets up in time. Coleman Hell is your winner. Time Limit was second, then Rostov third, and Wesley was fourth. Coleman Hell, he goes over the 10 million in earnings. The official winner is Coleman Hell. He's a 5-year-old chestnut horse by Calgon out of Instrumental by Gibraltar. He was bred by the steward and is owned by Nina Olson, and I think we can all be in perfect agreement that if Nina Olson ever complains about her 10.7 million earning horse one more time, that she's booted from the sim, and we will take him and share him amongst all of ourselves. So far, I have gotten one text from someone who says that race was fixed, and one text from someone who says that they got excited and then very sad because they lost. So sorry to the world. Next up, we have our final race of the day and post times in 7 minutes. Hey, there's 7 horses in here. It is the $7 million Pegasus Classic, and look who draws the rail for about the 4 billionth time in his career. It's James Dean. So to complain about that, here's Rose.
Congrats, Nina. You did it finally. Um, so let's go into the Pegasus Classic. First up, we have James Dean, who is a big fancy horse owned and bred by Art Vandelay. Last out, James Dean, though, was second in the Stewards Cup Classic, so it is possible to beat him. Before that, he'd won 4 straight races, including the Desert World Cup, so you certainly can't count him out of anything. This is a horse that's going to go to the lead and try to wire the field, and he could absolutely do it. Next up, we have Doctor Who, owned by Eric Nalbone and bred by the Steward. Last out, Doctor Who was a very, very close second in the Stewards Cup Dirt Mile, but had lost behind all of time. Technically, I bet, Doctor Who also beat that the old world record for a mile, so that's kind of sad. But anyways, Doctor Who won this race last year and is going to be looking to defend his title. There's no reason that he can't do it, although I have to wonder if he's a little tired. Maybe, maybe not. But if he wins this, I think, does that give him the record for earnings? No, there's not enough horses for that. I don't know. Well, I have to do the math. Okay, so definitely not. Last year's was, yeah, last year's was worth more. Anyways, so next up we have Alonze, owned and bred by Susie Rydell out of her very fancy mare named Rose, who she should do a full trade with me because that would be awesome, although I don't think that's ever going to happen. Last out, Alonze was first in the Grade 1 Seek Thrills handicap. Before that, he won the Arcadia Classic. And last year, his big race was winning the Baltimore Crown. Baltimore Crown at this mile and 3/16 distance. So it agrees with him, and I think he is very dangerous in this race. Next up, we have Sharpshooter, owned by Abe Frillman and bred by the Steward. Sharpshooter last out was second in the Los Campeones Classic. Before that, he was a winner of the Grade 1 Canadian Fraternity Stakes. As a horse that also won the Grade 1 Sunshine Park Derby, so he's really nice, and we'll see if he can pull off an upset for Abe. Next up is Addicted to Chaos, owned and bred by Jack Mayer. Last out, Addicted to Chaos was 7th in the Stewards Cup Classic, 2 weeks after a very nice win in the Long Island Gold Cup. Addicted to Chaos before that won the Grade 1 Spa Classic with a 98 speed figure at a shorter distance, beating Doctor Who, which I think makes it seem like he will definitely enjoy this being a mile and a 3/16 race. So good luck to you, Jack. Next up is Captain My Captain, owned and bred by Cleopatra. I guess now that Coleman Hells won, Captain My Captain is the official, always a bridesmaid, never a bride of the sim. But he could absolutely change that in 3 minutes when the race runs. Last year, he was second in the Louisville Derby and then second in the Long Island Classic and second in the Midsummer Classic. But last out, he did win the Grade 2 Fraternity Cup, which might not seem like a huge thing, except now that he has all the confidence that he needs to win this race. So good luck, Cleo. I hope he runs really well for you. And our last horse is Calumet, owned and bred by Louise Bayou. Last out, Calumet was a very close second in the Fog City Stakes. A race before that, he was second behind Doctor Who in the Long Island Handicap. He's been kind of doing the bridesmaid thing for the last couple of races, but he does like going these shorter distances, and he is a multiple Grade 1 winning horse, so you can't fully count him out. And that is your field. Okay, take it.
I just wanted to give a nice shout out to Rebecca Rose tonight for being exceptional tonight. I thought she did a great job. We weren't sure if we were going to go ahead with calls tonight, but we did, and on short notice, she rallied, and it was great. So, next up is our final race of the night, the Pegasus Classic, and then don't forget the irony that the next night of race calls will be the night before the real life first ever Pegasus. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but the 2018 Pegasus may very well be at Santa Anita. So you're all invited to stay on my couch. All 65 of you can come hang, and we will Pegasus in real life. As for the Sim 1, this is a $7 million race with $3.5 million to the winner. So we already have some pretty rich animals in here. That would put James Dean at 10 point something. That would put Doctor Who at 11 something. That would put Alon Z over 6. The only non-millionaire in here is Sharpshooter. The rest will probably be multimillionaires by the time their career is done, or I guess all of them. So yeah, this is a very good group of older horses. The real question with these horses and everyone who raced tonight is, do they have a week 4 prep before running in Dubai in a month? That is the trickery. So let's just go ahead with the call of the Pegasus Classic. $7 million on the line. They're going 1 mile and 3/16. They're off. Captain My Captain was 1 step slow, but the rest were away well. And Alon Z goes out. He wants that lead. He will vie with Doctor Who. Here's James Dean hustled up from the rail and joins them. So they're 3 across the track with that quick pace early on. Sharpshooter puts the pressure on 2, and then Calumet takes back. He wants no part of that. Addicted to Chaos, and Captain My Captain is the trailer. So coming under the wire the first time, it is Alon Z, Doctor Who, and James Dean, 3 across the track, then Sharpshooter. Calumet sits back 5th, then Addicted to Chaos, and Captain My Captain is last of the 7, but only 4 lengths, covers the lot. Alon Z and James Dean, those 2 kick away from Doctor Who, who's decided he had enough of that pace, and he takes back 3rd. Sharpshooter's right there alongside Doctor Who, and they have 8 lengths on Calumet, who has 3 lengths on Addicted to Chaos. Captain My Captain would have to come from 13 off of it. So they roll down the backstretch with 5 furlongs left to go, and it is Alon Z and James Dean, those 2 drumming along together a length in front of Doctor Who and Sharpshooter. Then comes Calumet and Addicted to Chaos. They trade places now as Addicted to Chaos is starting to come on, and Captain My Captain is asked to run. They're rounding the far turn, and now James Dean takes over, and James Dean leads Alon Z. Those 2 still have 2 lengths on Doctor Who in 3rd. Sharpshooter's right there. He's not going away, and Addicted to Chaos coming on. Then Calumet. Not much today from him or Captain My Captain. Down the stretch they come. It's James Dean and Alon Z. These 2 are fighting along with Alon Z kicking back along the outside. James Dean battling on the rail, and Doctor Who still 3rd. Sharpshooter alongside, and Addicted to Chaos is coming on, but Alon Z and James Dean, they're 3 clear. Alon Z, James Dean, it's going to be close, and it's going to be Alon Z by a neck. James Dean was 2nd, 2 back to Doctor Who 3rd, with Sharpshooter there 4th, and Addicted to Chaos. The official winner is Alon Z. He's a 4-year-old Dark Bay colt by Doctor out of Rose by the other man. I almost said by Susie Rydell. That'd be weird. He is a homebred for Susie Rydell, and this is his 10th win in 12 starts. That wraps up tonight's Pegasus program. Don't forget to join us on January 27th or week 6, day 5 for the next live broadcast. And thank you again to our MC, Rebecca Rose Hepburn. And here are some special guests to say goodnight. Say goodnight. No, you can say it really loud.
Good night. Good night.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Let's say bye.
Okay.
Bye.